I'm Evie Kimsing, editor of identityweek.net. This afternoon, I'm going to be speaking to Filippo Chiricozzi, who's a speaker at our upcoming Identity Week Europe show in Amsterdam. That's where he's based at the moment. He's an expert in digital identity and distributed ledger technology and works at Banca Sella. It's really great to speak to you this afternoon. We haven't met before and really connect on these topics, which are going to be so big at the conference. Are you looking forward to discussing, these topics in Europe?
Yeah, absolutely. First thing first, thank you for having me here, Abby. It's a pleasure for me to be here and actually to participate for the second time even to the Digital Identity Week. So really looking forward to the event, really looking forward to tackle the topic of digital identity and how it crosses, I would say, with topics as Web3, DLTs, and actually I started learning about digital identity because of DLTs and because of the evolution of Web3. So now diving deep into the whole European digital identity wallet evolutions and everything that comes with new regulation is pretty interesting to me personally, but even for the potential outcomes that they may have as Banca Sella, so and generally speaking in the banking industry. So really looking forward for the conversation.
Absolutely. And just for the viewers, your session is really going to look into using digital ID to onboard customers, automate KYC, which are a lot of the use cases are with the European Digital Identity Wallet.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to go into kind of your particular expertise with Web3, how have you spurred your bank's growth through initiatives in Web.3 and digital assets?
Yeah. So first thing first that I have to say that when I joined the bank, I joined with the idea of being an help of what was my, I would say, primary expertise, so marketing and partnership and business developments, I would say. But on the like a sort of side hustle, or I would say side interest, I started diving deep into the topic since I would say 2019 because of my previous job mostly. So and by chance it was a financial job. So I was in a fintech and we worked on launching the first kind of ETF, so but it was called ETN on the Italian market. So I'm Italian, so where I come from, on Bitcoin. So from there, I had the chance to dive deep into the topic. And then when joining the bank and realizing that it was the first bank, I think one of the first like worldwide, and I had the chance to prove it even participating into multiple events when I realizing that it was the first bank in Italy, one of the first worldwide that wanted to look into the DLT ecosystem, I said, okay, let's move forward. Let's try to see if I can bring the knowledge that I gathered so far on a specific vertical, on a specific niche that it was the one about Bitcoin. That I mean, it's at the same time as we know the the one that exists for the longer time. So back in the day, since 2009 and then diving deep into the whole evolution that comes along with the DeFi and then Web3, so the evolution of the web that we know, intertwining and mixing with the chance of having digital assets, with the chance of having custody of some specific assets, of tokenizing the specific assets on DLT. So what I did initially, and then I had the chance and the privilege to work with a team of 10 people now, I think like around 15 people. It was focusing on two different sides. So what could be of real interest for a bank? That is, of course, looking at the DLT and digital asset ecosystem, and at the same time do some R&Ds or of something that we were starting to see growing into the Web3 and DLT ecosystem. So we said, okay, let's move forward in parallel. So do R&D on one side and then understanding what can be of interest on the other side for what we do internally, and then come out with some specific verticals that as of now are going from custody to tokenization, from real world assets to, of course, stable coins and digital identity. Within this process, as I was mentioning in our very early conversation, I was saying that I started looking at digital identity because of Web3. And this is actually true because when I first approached non-custodial wallets, so when I first approached MetaMask, Phantom, Ruby Wallet, and whatever, I realized myself that owning something that was tokenized or on the blockchain, it could mean having a kind of a digital representation of what we really like. So it could be, I don't know, if you hold some NFTs, maybe you want to do like a hard NFTs, you want to look at art, or maybe it can be utility NFTs because you're more interested into the real application. And from there on, I started looking at W3C, so the evolution of digital identity, winking and looking at the DLT ecosystem, zero knowledge proof, the concept of credential that now has been mutuated into what we do with the European Digital Identity Wallet, and then, of course, stumbling into the large-scale pilots and everything that is happening thanks to the IDAS 2.0 regulation. So I would say that we started with just by, creating a very long peer presentation of from 50 to 60 slides that can be like, spurring about from the beginning of Bitcoin down to the most recent evolutions of Web3 and DLTs. But at the same time, we had the chance to prove ourselves and as a team make sure that we arrived at a certain level. That is the one that we live as of now, the one in which we are able to really build things that are based on a technology. I would say not focusing on the hype, not focusing on the numbers, but rather focusing on what really can be built with the technology itself.
Absolutely. And once you get into this realm of digital identity and all these technologies, you get involved in the European Digital Identity Wallet, the
Yeah.
bank, the business wallet, and everything. So it's really fascinating from your standpoint. In what ways is Banca Sella innovating with DLT and digital ID technology today?
Yeah, so I can start from DLTs. Of course, repeating a little bit what we already shared, but like going a little bit more into details for what I can share. So the first thing that we've been tackling, especially in the last year, is the topic of stablecoins. So there's been a lot of rumors since the early days of Tether, about stablecoins as an asset that actually can be, as the name suggests, really stable. So attach it to something. So peg it one by one with another currency. We have seen the evolution of it. We've seen the stable coin that could be pegged to fiat money, to cryptocurrencies, to commodities, to algorithm, and we remember what happened, unfortunately, with Terra Luna. But as the market evolved, as the concept evolved, we realized the power that can lay behind, of course, the using the stablecoin. Then for this very reason, we decided to join in 2025 the first European consortium, so to create a stablecoin that is a euro denominated, peg it to euro. That now has the name of Kivalis. So we were one of the 9 funding banks, then evolved into 10, helped them through I would say, whole initial setup. As of now, Kivalis is incorporated in the Netherlands. It has a management board. It has a strategic board. So actually, there's been a wide process, I would say, of consolidating the topic itself. So once looking at DLTs, this one was one of the topic. And then, as I mentioned again, the topic called custody. So allowing our customers to have custody so of their own assets within the stack of a bank. We envision a future in which there's no particular, I would say, separations between traditional finance and decentralized finance, but there's actually, I would say, a place in which everyone can hold all their assets, all their economical assets. That can be fiat money, that can be investments, that can be Bitcoin, Ethereum. But at the same time, of course, when looking at this, what we did is we were looking, of course, as an institution, as a financial institution, we were thoroughly looking at the evolution of the regulation. So making sure that we were compliant with the MiCA regulations. We were helping Banca d'Italia, Consob, so that are the Italian regulator, even to understand how to apply the rules within the market. So, and we're proud to say that we've been working hand in hand with the regulators to make sure that this happens. At the same time, I would say that this topic, the topic of having one single place in which you can hold everything, it helped us consolidating the idea that having a wallet, a European Digital Identity Wallet, can be a touch point for multiple things. Okay, so it can be a place in which you can do KYC, you can do strong customer authentication, you can hold different verifiable credential that can be issued from anyone. So from companies to institutions to whoever, okay? But last but not least, of course, you can use that for payments. And so you can see the consolidation of everything that I've been saying so far. So having a place with which you can pay with fiat money, but maybe at the same time, I don't know, with stablecoin or with the CBDC, central bank digital currencies, whatever they are, or of course with the digital euro in our very case. So you see many different things that are leading us into picking two different topics, at least not so different topics as DLTs and digital identity, but then evolving into different because at least for what we know, the European Digital Identity Wallet shouldn't be built on top of a DLT, picking different topics, making sure that they intertwine together with the, long shot of having one place, one single place that can be our mobile app, where users can do everything from identification to payments. So this is, I would say, the idea that we're trying to arrive to, hopefully in the short term, but I would say building it step by step, so to make sure that this happens.
Absolutely. It's really interesting to hear your focus. Everyone's got a similar sort of exploration of all the use cases to do with the wallets, but it is really interesting. How is the development of the national IT wallet progressing
Mhm,
on that
mhm.
subject, and what's been learned from the first rollout phase?
Yeah. So technically speaking about the IT wallet, I may not be the right person to see how it goes because as I've had the chance to mention in the, I would say, async conversation that we had, we're part of large scale pilots. So we're part as of now of WeBuild and Aptitude. Previously, we were part of Nobit and EWC. With Nobit, actually, we've been testing even a use case. So I know the onboarding, the real onboarding of a user by using the UD wallet. And now we are trying to tackle almost the same topic, but not only on the B2C side, but even on the B2B side for the new large scale pilot. So the what we're looking is not, I would say, specifically about the IT wallet, but rather into the ARF, so the technical stack that lays behind the wallets, and make sure that what we're doing, we're not just doing this specifically for one single case, that should be the Italian one. That it should be a no-brainer for us because Banca Sella is an Italian bank that is serving 99.9%, I would say, Italian customers. So we're not expanding, I would say, in the Europe market as of now, at least. But I would say, so we're not looking at the concept of the IT wallet, but rather all the potential wallets that are based on the tech stack, and making sure that if in the future we want to open even to foreign customers, of course, European customers, we may be able to receive and to use that stack for any potential login. In terms of the IT wallet, I think that steps are doing for whatever very good, especially for the companies that are building this. And we're really looking forward to not only to learn from these LSPs, but even to work hand in hand for what we're able to with the institutions. So once we're ready to roll out, once they're ready to roll out, we are able actually to join from day one, not only into as a relying party, but maybe even to issuing some verified credential, and of course with the idea to give more and more opportunities to our customers.
Great. Are you leveraging AI-driven identity and
Mhm.
analytical tools really to prevent fraud and increase security?
Yeah. This is a very, very, I would say, interesting topic that has been on the discussion, especially for the dedicated function. So the team that is dealing with AI, unfortunately, not part of it. Although, of course, as all of us, I would say, me, you, and everyone that is looking at this at this interview is actively looking at AI, maybe actively using AI. So it is very important, and it's one of the core topic that has been tackled even in the LSP. So imagine a world in which now we're talking about identification, we're talking about a place that can be a wallet in which we are holding all our credentials. But the biggest pain point is this hackable, or is this, I don't know, somehow can people use AI to rework it in some way. I may not be the right person to answer this question, but it's definitely one of the key points that we have as Banca Sella internally. So making sure to understand AI not only to ease the operation, but even to make sure and to prevent potential external attack or any potential fraud that can happen for our customers. Because of course, I mean, as we say, as actually our CEO says, the first thing, our primary topic, our primary thing, the North Star that we're making sure to handle every day is making sure that our customers, our end customers, are satisfied. So that's the main point, I would say.
Absolutely. And AI is everywhere, and
Yeah,
it
it is.
powers a lot of the defensive tools and analytics. So
Yeah,
yeah, any final thoughts on kind of how you're aligning the frameworks while enhancing privacy, that idea of self-sovereign identity, and you mentioned that principle really with what
yeah,
you're doing.
yeah.
Um,
That I think that there are two different things to consider. So the first thing is, for us, it will be very important not only to build compliant with the framework. So I was mentioning, for example, the ARF in terms of building on top of a stack, but even to be compliant with everything that is privacy and related to the topic of privacy and data. And also, this has been like a core point again for what I was mentioning before. So if you have like your North Star is your final customers, it can be B2C or a B2B customers, and you want to build everything for them and because of them. At the same time, you have to make sure that there is no potential breach of any kind, no kind of problems. Okay, in that very case. For this reason, I think that it's something that I've been looking actively, and honestly, I don't know how it will evolve on the topic of credential. But one thing that I've been actively looking is the topic of zero knowledge proof. So having something that can be put in between the data and the final users, and by users I mean the one that actually using the real data. So the opportunity of leveraging a technology that can be a DLT technology that already exists, it can be used even for issuing verifiable credentials, verifying them. It can be good. I'm pretty sure that all the stacks that are thought as of now and so far are equivalent, if not better, of what this happens. But what we're doing is, like as I was mentioning early in this conversation, I would say following two paths. If on one side we're building alongside the other institutions, we're building following the framework, we're building the based on what's the future of the wallet at the same time. But because of our nature, because of being even part, my team is part of the innovation team, the innovation area. So being innovators, we have to look at any other potential outcomes that may come from the market. That can be zero knowledge proof or can be anything else. So there are multiple, I would say, multiple ways of identifying credential worldwide. I know that US is using an approach, and even other countries are using other approaches. But at the same time, I would say that having something that it's compliant based on the regulation, but even do a little bit of innovation R&D, so to make sure that everyone is free to share and free to use. And by free, I'm not saying that we have to use freely our data, but I should be happy in using my data because I know that this won't be used for any fraudulent action. Should be, I would say, the endpoint and North Star for everyone that is dealing with identification.
Definitely, and it's wise, and we'll see this at the event. Everyone's looking into these technologies now, but also the innovation to come, and
Mhm.
wanting to be the first to discover that really. So thank you so much for your time. We look forward to hearing your sessions in June at the event.
Thank you.
Um, Thank you.